Welcome to our deep dive into the intricacies of building a customer-centric culture. This journey starts with understanding the foundation hyper-personalization in customer experience. Imagine walking into a store where every product and service feels tailor-made just for you. This isn't just about making a sale, it's about creating an experience that resonates on a personal level. The same way we as customers experience the sights and sounds of a purchase experience, we and our staff experience the business and its culture. There are a lot of parts to this, so this is not just a quick exercise. Next, we explore successful business cultures. What makes them tick? How do they thrive? It's not just about policies and procedures, it's about the people who bring these cultures to life. Internal personalization plays a crucial role here. Just as we personalize customer experiences, we must also personalize the work environment for our employees. Understanding human nature in the workplace is essential. People are not just cogs in a machine. They have emotions, aspirations, and unique personalities. Recognizing this can lead to a more harmonious and productive work environment. The recruitment journey is another vital aspect. It's not just about filling positions, it's about finding the right fit for your company culture. Creating a seamless transition for new hires is crucial for their success and the overall health of the organization. Engaging existing staff is equally important. Empowerment and a sense of belonging can transform your workforce into a motivated and committed team. We'll delve into practical empowerment strategies and see empowerment in action. Finally, we'll discuss the power of an agile culture. Flexibility and adaptability are the cornerstones of a resilient business. We'll explore practical enablement strategies and how to build a culture of care. This culture of care creates a ripple effect, positively impacting everyone in the organization. So, let's embark on this comprehensive journey to understand how to bridge the gap between customer experience and business culture. Because at the end of the day, people matter. The same way we as customers experience the sights and sounds of a purchase experience, we and our staff experience the business and its culture. There are a lot of parts to this, so this is not just a quick exercise. We spend an enormous amount of time and money going into hyper-personalization of customer products and services, but look at our offices. It is no mistake that certain businesses that get this right have an amazing culture. Google, Zappos, advertising agencies, etc. This is because they allow hyper-personalization on the inside as well. In some instances, it is given a higher importance because of the output of the teams. Again, this is not the time to run off and give your teams free rein on the decor of the building. But it does mean that we can't keep trying to force people into the same space and expect them to love it. It is just not human nature, and if you haven't realized it yet, your staff are humans. Probably one of the biggest cliches that has ever been used in the boardroom relates to people. Our people are our biggest assets, and numerous variations on this are used every day to try to paint this picture of a caring organization. Now, I am not suggesting that this should not be the case. What I'm saying is that if you want to create an amazing customer experience, the whole journey starts with who you recruit. Even more important, how you recruit them. Recruiting the right people means understanding the values and culture of your organization and finding individuals who resonate with them. It's about more than just skills and qualifications. It's about finding those who align with your vision and can contribute positively to your company culture. The recruitment process should be thorough and thoughtful, ensuring that each candidate is evaluated not only for their professional capabilities, but also for their potential to grow and thrive within your organization. By prioritizing the recruitment of individuals who embody the values and spirit of your company, you set the stage for a workforce that is engaged, motivated, and committed to delivering exceptional customer experiences. Remember, the journey to an extraordinary customer experience begins with the people you bring on board. Choose wisely, and the rewards will be profound. Now you have to onboard them in the business. You have to welcome the new person in with a reflection of your culture that reduces their cognitive dissonance about having left a perfectly good job to take up a new one with you. Here's a couple of don'ts. Don't leave it to the last minute to plan the first week. Make an itinerary to ensure this new rock star gets to meet everyone they need to in their first 7 days. Don't let them arrive and not be welcomed by members of their new team. Give them a buddy for the first week so they don't have to ask where the bloody bathroom is. Don't let them arrive and not have access to the tools they need to do their work. It should be a part of the welcome pack. And make sure that the welcome pack is at least a little bit fun. This person wants to be inspired to work for the business. A branded pen says, "We had nothing else to give you, so we gave you something from my drawer. I hope you enjoy it here." So now we have that out the way. Here are a couple of do's. Make sure that by the end of the first week, the new recruit has met some senior people. It's important that they know who is who. It is also important that the senior people know who the new recruits in the business are and what they do. Orientate them. Don't send them presentations and packs to read. Get them in a room, maybe with other new joiners, and take them through the strategy, the culture, the cool stuff you do so that at the end of 7 days, they can start to feel like they belong. Make sure that by the end of the first week, they know what is expected of them. Don't leave talking about how they will be measured for weeks. Do it up front and let them have a 100-day plan that aligns to those expectations you have. Last point on this, and keep it personal, and make sure you show the effort when dealing with your people. Now I know what you are thinking. This is for new joiners. What about the staff we already have? You are right. What about them? The way you engage with the people in your business determines the experience they have with your business. Getting this right is dependent on the culture of the organization and what you are wanting to achieve in the business context. Engagement is also a critical path to alignment across the business. Here is a little nugget for you. Engagement is not the sole role of the HR team. It is a leadership responsibility, a responsibility that shows everyone in the business what has happened, what is happening now, and what is going to happen. It takes everyone through the strategy so that everyone knows what their role is and people can feel a sense of belonging to the direction. Last time I checked, we were all human beings, and one of our primary needs is to belong. How you make people feel that they belong to your team, no matter how high or low they are on the org chart, is the starting point for creating a sustainable employee experience. Endorphins manage how we feel. They come from many stimuli, and some pretty powerful ones get released when we feel as though we belong somewhere. Here's another big word that gets thrown around boardrooms all over the world. Empowerment, also referred to as centralization or decentralization of decision-making or levels of authority or whatever other term you use for it in your business. This is one of the most whitewashed statements around because, as businesses, we want to empower our people, but only to the point that we can control the empowerment and ensure that people won't make mistakes. But let's go back in time. Think about the time when you were learning to walk. Imagine if your parents took away your decision to stand up and waited until they were ready to let you do that. The synapses building in your brain, driven by instincts, would have been stunted by the fear of you falling as a baby and possibly hurting yourself. Now, this in itself is not the best image for empowerment, but it is a good place to start because our people, our managers, and our leaders are put in place to build, run, and grow our businesses. Yet sometimes, we don't give them the space to do that. Empowerment is not just about handing over authority, it's about creating an environment where people feel safe to take risks, make mistakes, and learn from them. It's about trusting your team and giving them the autonomy to innovate and find solutions. When people feel empowered, they are more committed, more productive, and more aligned with the company's goals. So the next time you think about empowerment, remember, it's not just a buzzword, it's a crucial element of a thriving, dynamic, and resilient business culture. And it starts with trust and the genuine belief that everyone in your organization has something valuable to contribute. When it comes to customers, this is where we see a lot of this playing out as negative impacts on the customer, which is why you need to be very clear on how empowerment works in your business. If there is an issue that can be solved by one of your team, but they need 50 layers of approval before it can be solved, you are not an empowered business. If simple issues require line manager approval, you are not an empowered business. I have a really interesting case study at the end of this book, a personal experience, which shows how a business does not provide empowerment to its people, not just in making decisions, but in the policies and processes that it builds at the same time. So how do you fix this? Or how do we prevent this? Well, for one, don't turn your people into box tickers. They all have dreams is pretty powerful. We forget that people don't wake up loving the idea of being controlled, but rather, they look for the opportunity to express themselves. So back to empowerment. Well, I can assure you it is not an easy task because a lot of this has to do with institutional legacy, and the rest has to do with the willingness of line managers to give up a sense of control of their people. Let's start with the easy one, institutional legacy. No matter how long your business has been around, it has a culture. No matter whether or not it is written down on paper, on a wall, or on banners in your buildings, your business has a culture. Whether by design or by accident, your business has a culture, and empowerment is a big part of that culture. This is also where we start attaching certain tools to this culture. Levels of authority and what they can do. Signature matrices and how many of this level need to sign with that level before something can be seen as signed off. Oversight committees, working groups, and so on and so on. Without doubt, there is a need for this in business. You can't just have people running around doing whatever they please whenever they want, because that is madness. I know some of you are sitting there thinking, thank God he brought back some sanity here. And you are right. Take a breath, have some tea, and relax. I'm not promoting anarchy inside your business, but I am asking you to take a look at your business and think about whether you need all these layers to get things done. In my career, I have worked in two types of organizations. One that focuses on getting things done quickly without breaching regulations, but with the primary culture of experimentation, and the other that focuses on never making a mistake. The key takeaway here is that genuine empowerment involves both the dismantling of unnecessary barriers and the fostering of a culture that values initiative and innovation. It's not about reckless freedom, but rather about creating an environment where your team feels trusted and supported to make decisions that benefit both the business and the customer. By doing so, you create a more agile, responsive, and ultimately successful organization. When it comes to thriving in today's fast-paced business environment, the first approach is clearly the preferred option. This method is exemplified by some of the world's top innovators like Apple, GoPro, and various social media platforms. These companies act with urgency to deliver their products to the market, showcasing progression, innovation, and a customer-centric focus. Their time to market is short, approval processes are streamlined, and they are willing to take risks. Why? Because they trust the culture behind their processes. When Steve Jobs stood on stage holding the iPod, he knew it wasn't a new idea. He understood it would drive significant changes in the music industry, but most importantly, he had confidence in the work his teams had done in the background. This trust and empowerment are what made Apple a leader in innovation. Now, consider the opposite approach, where a myriad of committees and layers of approval are required to release a new product. This culture of over-regulation and excessive caution filters down into every aspect of the business. It creates an environment where nothing gets done without multiple sign-offs, leading to a perpetual cycle of delays and inefficiencies. This second approach is about avoiding mistakes at all costs, striving for a 100% perfect product every time. It leads to analysis paralysis, ensuring that progress is painfully slow. In contrast, a culture that values agility, trust, and empowerment not only fosters innovation, but also creates a more dynamic, responsive, and successful organization. The choice is clear. Embrace a culture of empowerment and agility to drive your business forward, or risk being left behind in the endless loop of approvals and missed opportunities. So what about empowerment? Well, look at it this way. Our customers are the only stakeholders who put money into the business. At some point, everyone else only takes out, and, as a business, you might be making it really hard for those customers to get things done because of the empowerment gap in the way things get done. So let's look at this practically, because throwing the baby out with the bathwater here is also dangerous. Some ideas. Does your business have a budget that can be used for experimentation with ideas that may change your business? Does everyone in your business have a small budget that can be used to help rectify an issue for a customer or enhance an experience for the customer? And importantly, this must not need layers of spend approval, but it must have record keeping. Does your business have action groups, small squads who can really target work and get things done? Does your business have red tape avoidance teams who can prioritize customer issues and solve them at breakneck speed? If your business has even one of these, you are on the right track. If it doesn't have anything that even looks like this, then you might have an empowerment issue in the organization, and the culture that you are creating does not lend itself to being truly customer-centric. Now, just having these is not the solution, because this is about organizational mindset. Having one of these things in place, which is then over-regulated, is defeating the point. The tracks must be cleared of obstacles to really drive the customer focus at a cultural level, and that starts with your people. Next comes enablement, another huge word that gets thrown around boardrooms like a ball at a kid's party. But how many people truly appreciate the essence of what it actually means? Once you have empowered someone in the business, they must be able to use that empowerment, and this is where enablement comes in. There are a few different factors that go into this. Are the systems in place to make this happen quickly? Are the teams involved in this all aligned to delivering with the same sense of urgency? Are there customer actions that can delay the progress? Let's start with the basics. When we talk systems, we stray a little from that hard and fast concept of culture that we rely on to produce results for customers. But systems are an integral part of the culture in your organization because of how the work makes people feel. So a few really simple questions to ask are these. 1. Do you have systems in place that enable customers to get things done, or is everything manual? Side point. Your business may not need systems and automation at every step of the way, so don't go creating systems where they are not needed, unless there's a very clear benefit to the business and especially the customer. You have to remember the focus must be customer first, business second, and technology third. These words could not be more true. Anyway, back to it. 1. Do those systems talk to each other, and should they talk to each other? Is it easy for your people to use these systems, or are they complex, and do they create a poor employee experience? Lastly, do they actually add value, or do we have them so we can produce reports that no one reads? Some of these questions may seem stupid, but if you really interrogate them well, you may find that the answers to them become a little more ambiguous as you go along. What is critical to remember is that these inanimate elements of our business are such a big part of people's daily lives that the fact that they are there embeds them into the culture, and because of that, they become a part of the customer experience. How you ask? Well, imagine for a second that to get something done for the customer, you need to capture data in one system, then into another system, because those don't talk to each other, and then finally into a separate system to capture data for reporting purposes. Why is that an issue? It's just copy-paste, right? Well, sure, if you only had to do that once, then it would be the case, but because our people have to do it over and over again, this system and process becomes as entertaining as watching paint dry. Unless you are a world-class artist who enjoys watching paint dry, the expectation around this does not build any excitement about the workday, and with no excitement comes very little joy. And with no joy, your people will never be able to work with urgency or serve the customer with a smile. Any work that gets done in the front end of the business can be undone in the back end if you do not focus on making sure people's work does not become mundane. At this point, I'm going to take a slight detour and talk about a word that is not used often enough in the world of business, and even in the world in general today: care. One of the big things that Aki said in my discussions with him was, never underestimate the value of the small things. The world does not care enough. People do not care enough. Businesses do not care enough. And for this specific example, businesses do not care enough about their people and the work they are asked to do. We make our way up the corporate ladder and then seem to forget about the menial tasks that we were once asked to perform, which now seem okay because we can rationalize that someone else should do it. No. If we look at the respective tasks we ask people in our teams to do, especially those teams that enable our business, they are often comparable to asking soldiers to face down gunfire by climbing over the wall. This might be an example some people may not have reference to, but climbing out of a trench to face down gunfire is not only daunting, but no one actually wants to do it. But they do it because they are told to. So what do we do? First, empower your people to act further than just their scorecard is the starting point for Aki in getting your teams to want to do more. The solution to this is not to create a gamified version of the system that lets people slay dragons while they work, but there must be an extreme focus on making the work not suck. So, first of all, make the systems talk to each other. APIs, RPAs, whatever technical solution that allows processes to be easier as they progress down the pipe will make people's lives better. This will also make for fewer layers in the business and make your servicing faster. If you can migrate away from paper, this also makes it less of a mission to capture details because, believe it or not, customers and our people hate paper. We touch on fun a bit later, but having fun at work is important, especially in places where repetitive tasks are part of daily life. And there are so many ways to have fun if you are creative enough to look for them and find what matches the way the team works. It also doesn't have to be every day, but it must be more than once a year. There is an added advantage to focusing on the systems here. As we delve deeper into the essence of care in the workplace, it's pivotal to understand the ripple effect it creates. Care isn't just a one-time action, it's a continuous wave that impacts every layer of the business. When leaders genuinely care about their employees, that sentiment trickles down, fostering an environment where everyone feels valued and respected. Imagine a company where every individual, from entry-level employees to top executives, knows that their well-being is a priority. This creates a sense of belonging and loyalty, which directly translates into higher productivity and innovation. Employees are more likely to go above and beyond when they know their efforts are appreciated and their voices are heard. Moreover, this culture of care extends beyond internal operations. Customers can sense when a company values its employees. It's reflected in the quality of service, the attention to detail, and the overall customer experience. When employees are happy and engaged, they are more likely to provide exceptional service, leading to increased customer satisfaction and loyalty. The ripple effect of care doesn't stop there. It also influences how the company is perceived externally. A business known for its caring culture attracts top talent, garners positive media attention, and builds a strong brand reputation. In a world where corporate social responsibility is increasingly important, companies that prioritize care stand out as leaders in their industries. So how can businesses cultivate this culture of care? It starts with small, consistent actions. Recognize and reward efforts, provide opportunities for growth, and create an inclusive environment where everyone feels safe to express themselves. By embedding care into the core values of the company, businesses can create a positive, lasting impact that resonates with employees, customers, and the wider community. In essence, care is not just a feel-good concept, it's a powerful driver of success. By prioritizing care in every aspect of the business, companies can build a thriving, sustainable future. Stay tuned as we explore more strategies to foster a culture of care and its profound impact on business success. For some people, this is going to be a bridge too far, and you may have to help them across the expanse to get them to the other side. People don't like change, especially when it involves stepping out of their work comfort zone into a space of pressure. But the way to get people there is through the pledge. If you guarantee to customers that things can get done in a certain time and make everyone accountable for that, you will see how quickly it gets done. If that means changing review meetings from once a week to 3 times a week, then so be it. If it means staffing up a department that is stretched, then do it. At the end of the day, customers like electricity and will take the path of least resistance. If that happens to be your competition, then that is where they will go. And your teams need to know that. This raises an interesting question. How open is your business to making the tough calls to meet a pledge? Are you willing to staff up a department to meet a pledge? Are you willing to incur costs to provide a better experience? Are you willing to let someone go who can't cross the bridge to the new way of working? A great book mentions that having the right people in the right seats is what makes the wheels on the bus go round and round. The last thing I want to say on this is that alignment does not happen between departments. It happens between people. This is a people matter. The place we ask people to work has as much to do with the culture of customer experience as it does with the culture of the organization. While completely intertwined, there are practical issues that arise from a poor work environment, and real human issues stem from this as well. Let's look at a few examples. Aesthetically displeasing workspace, with mounds of paper and rows of cupboards, and no fun equals no creativity. Now, I am neither an architect nor an interior designer, but the look of the place where you work has a huge impact on the work that people do. Let's explore this because it is not new, and it is not rocket science. Many people and companies get this wrong because they forget who they are when they walk through their company's doors. When you go to a hotel, a new restaurant, or someone's home, you will undoubtedly comment on the look of the place. Looks comfy, looks great, looks dark, looks cramped, looks old, etc. But for some reason, known only to God knows who, when we walk into our own buildings or offices, we forget to even look at this. People are asked to sit in places with poor lighting, at old desks, with dirty carpets and on top of each other. This is not conducive to living, let alone being motivated to provide great service to anyone. As humans, we have a natural need to be creative and enjoy ourselves. If the place where we work is not enjoyable and we do not enjoy being there, what are the chances that we will enjoy doing the work? Let alone enjoy serving the customers? So what do? Well, first, please don't think that sticking a tree next to someone's desk makes this all better. The culture of your business can be directly linked to the environment you ask your people to work in. So what do? Get in a professional. There are hundreds of people who have trained to understand this, and no amount of effort can offset the value that a professional can bring. If this is a budget issue, ask your people to help. Engaging with your staff about the place they want to work in makes a huge difference because they become a part of the solution. You can also involve them in the budget process so they know what is available to spend and make sure it happens. Letting them create the space almost guarantees that they will love it when they use it. I have seen very boring places turned into amazing spaces by the team that worked there with a bit of wood and some simple plants. In every organization, the true driving force is its people. Remember these key points about your employees? Hire the will and teach the skill. It's not just about what they know, but their willingness to learn and grow. Take everyone through the strategy so that they all feel a sense of belonging to the direction. When people understand the bigger picture, they can align their efforts more effectively. Clear the obstacles to really drive customer focus. This starts with your people. By removing barriers, you empower your team to deliver their best. Care. Make the systems talk to each other. This is a people matter. Streamlined processes enhance communication and efficiency, benefiting both employees and customers. Make the workplace enjoyable so everyone can enjoy doing the work. A pleasant environment fosters creativity and motivation, leading to better service and satisfied customers. Ultimately, your people are the heartbeat of your organization. Invest in them, support them, and watch your company thrive. Want to know more? Find a copy of Deliverers of Delight today and start building a culture to change your business.